Okay, I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. Logan Ullrich is a 25-year-old male who lives down here at 14530 Oliver Street, which is right behind me over my right shoulder, and the street runs to the east here off of Hamlin Boulevard. At about 9 o'clock this evening, deputies were called here because Logan's girlfriend, who lives in Tennessee, had been communicating with him, and he had expressed suicidal thoughts, and she was concerned that he may harm himself and that he may have a weapon. Deputies responded to the residence. Logan was there with his mother, Cathrine, and his father, Terry. They spoke with Logan and his parents, assessed the situation, and determined that he did not meet the criteria to be taken into custody under the Baker Act for an involuntary examination. Deputies spent probably about 45 minutes here doing an investigation and again talking to Logan and his mother and father. Deputies left, and about an hour later, Terry Ullrich called back from a neighbor's house and said the situation had deteriorated, it had gotten worse, and requested deputies respond back out to the scene. When the deputies responded, Sergeant Paul Langlais and Deputy Ben Fisher, who had been at the previous call, established telephone communication with Logan, spoke with Logan on the phone. He passed the phone to his mother. They were trying to assess and find out exactly what was going on. As they were on the phone, it was evident that Logan had armed himself and that he was exiting the residence. The deputies were parked right here at the corner of Hamlin Boulevard and Oliver Street when Logan came running down the street, and he had a .30-06 rifle in his hand. The deputies challenged him, told him to drop the rifle several times. He refused and kept coming in the direction of the deputies. As they continued to verbally challenge him, he took the rifle and he leveled it at the deputies. When he turned and leveled the rifle at the deputies, Sergeant Langlais fired 3 times from his handgun, and Deputy Fisher fired 1 time from a rifle. He was struck once in the leg. None of the deputies were injured. He was transported to Bayfront Hospital. The rifle is here at the scene, right down here at the corner of Oliver and Hamlin Boulevard, and Ullrich had .30-06 rifle rounds in his pocket. He has a history of mental illness. He was Baker Acted once before back in October. We're very fortunate in this circumstance that the deputies were not hurt, they weren't injured. They did what they had to do to protect themselves. This is an ongoing investigation, and that's the circumstances as we know it at this point.
Sheriff, were Logan's parents ever considered hostages?
No, the father left the home. He was concerned, and he went to a neighbor's house because of the situation when Logan was acting bizarre and what he was doing. The mother was, when Sergeant Langlais was talking to the mother on the phone, she was very cryptic in the conversation. You could tell she was concerned, but there's no indication that she wasn't free to leave or that he was holding them in the house.
How long more you guys going to be out here processing?
We'll be here for a while. And again, as we always do with these, I'm telling you what I know as we know it at this point, and I believe we have a pretty good picture as to what happened, but detectives and forensics investigators will be here probably for another hour or 2 at least, if not longer, processing the scene and collecting all the evidence. As it stands now, again, Logan's injuries are not life-threatening. He is at Bayfront Medical Center. He will be criminally charged, and we'll find out more as the evening progresses.
Do you know any charges yet, or you haven't gotten that together?
Well, we don't know exactly, but there will be charges related at least to aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer as he turned and pointed that rifle at the deputies. There could be additional charges, there could be other charges, but I would say at least 1 or 2 counts of aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer.
How many officers that he turned? Were multiple officers out here when this happened?
There were 5 deputies that were here. The 2 that engaged him were Sergeant Langlais and Deputy Fisher. And when they fired, they were probably somewhere around 20 yards away. It looked like he was looking for them, and they had taken a place of concealment by the house that's right behind me here to the south. And as he was coming down the street, and then when they challenged him, he then came at them and was almost running toward them and leveled the rifle at them as he was running toward them. So he knew what he was doing, and he pointed the gun at the deputies, and the deputies had to defend themselves.
Did you guys have to evacuate any neighbors in the area?
No, we haven't had to do that, no.
Did you say if the deputies that fired were ones that had responded originally to the original call?
They had been out here earlier this evening, so they were the same deputies who had been here earlier came back, and that's how when they got here, Sergeant Langlais got on the phone and knew to call Logan and tried to engage him, trying to find out exactly what was going on. So they were familiar with him, and Sergeant Langlais had also been out here in October when Ullrich was Baker acted back then as well. So, again, he's got a history, unfortunately. We see it way too many times, people with mental illness. We see way too many times these people are Baker acted and they're back out, and this tends to be a repeat process, and there tends to be recidivism. Because these people just need the help, and sometimes they just won't get the help that they need.
Any knowledge was that his weapon or the father?
We don't know. Again, it's still early in the investigation, and whether it's his or whether it's his father's or jointly owned, we don't know that. But again, it is a 30-06 rifle with a scope on it, and when you turn a rifle with a scope on a deputy sheriff, it's not a good day.
Any other questions?
Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.